Alright, y'all, this is the basics, the very basics of makeup. I'm going to try not to talk as fast as this video is going, so you're just going to have to catch up. But the transition colors were placed in my crease, which is below your orbital bone of your eye. So using a fluffy brush in a sweeping motion is how I apply my shadows. So this is how I do my makeup. Every makeup artist does their makeup differently. Please do not take my word as Bible. These are my techniques and what I do for every client, depending on their eye shape and face shape. So anyway, using a fluffy brush, placing a transition color into your crease. A transition color is a color that you will use to transition from one shade to the next. And again, this is a very basic look, just to show you how to apply your shadows, but you can use any color you want. Makeup is truly about you and your expression, you know, what makes you feel good. So, okay, what was I saying? It's late, y'all. So I used a darker shade of brown on the outer corner of my eye, using that, which, and also to kind of below your transition color and buffing it out to your outer corner. So I took a lighter shade. This is the same palette that I used in the video that I uploaded that went from a day to night look. This is by ColourPop Cosmetics in the Nude Mood palette. So using a shade out of that palette, all this will be in the details because I do not recall as I'm recording this, which is annoying because I'm shitty at editing. This is a lighter shade that I'm putting on my lid with a MAC flat brush. I'll put the number in the details. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on brushes, y'all, but this is a MAC brush. It's a flat brush, and I'm using a packing technique. And because this video is being sped up a bit, it looks like I'm beating the shit out of my face and being harsh, and I'm really not. So this is a NYX brush, and I absolutely love it. I like to apply my foundation with a kabuki style brush. I also have a fluffier kind of I don't know what you would call it, but it is a MAC brush, and I do like that as well. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use a kabuki brush because it does great with buffing out your foundation. And I really do like the Hoodie faux filter foundation. You really only need a tiny bit of that. I used way too much, and you will see in the next clip, it's what I even had left over. I could have done 2 faces with the amount that I pumped, and it was probably about a quarter size. So half of that shit, even probably less than that, because a little goes a long way with foundation. And I think starting kind of at the center, which I don't do all the time, but starting at the center of your nose and buffing outward is a great technique too. Leftover product, concealer by IT Cosmetics. So this is me just buffing out my foundation because I'm a perfectionist. I don't want to see lines. I just don't. So that is the concealer by IT Cosmetics that I've used in previous videos. You need a tiny bit that spreads really, really well. Using a Real Techniques brush, their brushes are great. Again, you do not have to spend a bunch of money on brushes. Sonia Kashuk sold at Target has great brushes. Don't sleep on Wet n Wild because they have some really good blending brushes. Morphe has some great brushes as well. And NYX Cosmetics, which was the brush that I used for the foundation. And again, this is Real Techniques. And because I'm frugal Franny, I will go to Ross and Marshalls, and 9 times out of 10, I will find a Real Technique brush. You can also find some gems there in the cosmetic department. Oh, Japanese, I believe they have a really good brush as well. So I'm showing you where concealer would go typically. Your concealer should be applied to the shape of your face. If I'm being honest, I really don't like to wear concealer all the time. I generally would just have foundation on. Just because as long as I've been doing makeup, half the shit that's popular now, we weren't doing. So using the Huda Beauty powder to set my foundation, well, not the foundation, I'm sorry, the concealer, because again, it's very hydrating and it does crease a bit, but using a setting powder under your eye will help with that. And I like to go under with a fluffy brush just to make sure I'm hitting those creases. Damn, girl. That's the name of that mascara by Too Faced Cosmetics. I did use the MAC powder for all over my face as well. So a lot of people have asked about contouring. I really don't do this all the time. God is my witness, I don't. You, again, just like concealer, you want to place your contour according to your face shape. So I was showing you some people will put the contour along their jawline because it gives the illusion that your jawline is slimmer. People contour their nose and it looks barely there. I don't do that at all to my nose. And the real reason why is because A, I don't like it, but truly because I have eczema and I feel like it draws attention to my nose. So scratch that. I don't like it. So again, using the NYX brush just to buff it out. I don't like to see lines with contouring and makeup. Yes, it's beautiful for editorial and all that other stuff, but I really think that skin should look like skin. So I try not to be harsh with lines. So I will go in with a beauty blender or several brushes. Because if you notice in my videos, I use hella different brushes because I like to have a clean brush every time. Yeah, I'm starting to get hot. My old age is starting to set in. That tender age of 39. So just making sure I don't have any lines from the contour. I think contouring and concealing, obviously concealer, you want to conceal things, but it also lightens because typically your concealer should be 2 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation. And it gives you a brighter appearance under your eye in areas you want to highlight. That's the whole point. In contouring, kind of minimizing. So sometimes people want to minimize their nose, like I said, to barely there. Oof. With this corona lockdown and businesses, including mine, being shut down, my brows are bushy. They're going to have a great comeback. So brows, I feel like I'm going to have to do a separate video on brows only. But with your brows, that would be where you start. Your arch typically is the middle of your eyeball, and your tail should meet where the corner of your eye ends, if that makes sense. So I used a pencil. I do like pomades, but I used a pencil, and you want to draw. Basically, you're following. It's like coloring a picture. You know how they would tell you to draw on the or outline your photo. So that's pretty much what you do to your brows, or at least this is how I do my brows. I will go underneath my brow just slightly and follow it, following the natural shape of your brow. Of course, you can dramatize your brows, of course, but going the natural shape of your brow with a pencil or a pomade. So what I will do is I will draw out, sketch out, arch out, whatever you want to call it, sculpt your brow, and then I use an angle brush and a spoolie to buff out and drag that product. That way your brows look more natural versus looking like a Sharpie. Listen, my brows have their days, okay? And remember, your brows are not twins. They're not going to be identical. They're sisters, sometimes cousins, but they shouldn't be so far removed now. But my brows don't match every day. Again, moving product in my brow with an angle brush very lightly. That's also too something to remember is when you are applying makeup, your technique with brushes should not be hard. Meaning you shouldn't be holding your brushes like a pencil all rough, okay? It should be light, holding your brush lightly, kind of flimsy. So that is the Photofocus Wet n Wild concealer, and my eyebrows weren't looking even to me, or I think I saw a line or something a little below my brow, which happens, and that's why it's great to clean up your brows. I don't like super, super, super carved out brows, but I'd like them to look neat, and concealer helps with that. And again, it cleans up any mistakes if, like I did, I kind of dragged the product a little too far, but using the concealer concealed it. Super cheesy. And I buff, and buff. with another clean brush. Because again, I like to use several different brushes because I like a nice clean blended look. I just don't like to see where makeup starts and stops. I've never liked it, so I'm constantly using several brushes. ChocoLit, that is by Rihanna Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. So I was looking for a highlighter and I wasn't going to put any on, but then I was like, oh, I guess I should show like where highlighter should go. So highlighter should go where the sun naturally will hit your face. So that's typically on your temples, kind of that moon shape along right there. Bam. So I was going to use a NYX brush and I opted to use my NARS Kabuki brush, which I love. But you see, I'm kind of going half moon shape above my cheekbone. I did not place it on my chin or my nose, but those are other areas where the sun would hit naturally. And then when you got that highlighter on, you're just popping, glowing. Makeup is really an expression of you, like I said. What I say may not work for you, but may work for the next person. Here we go with these damn lashes. So I didn't realize I didn't hit record, so I already had a lash on. So I would have loved to have used a wispy lash because I just think they're a beautiful basic lash. I use them on a lot of my brides who don't want a super dramatic lash. But I had ordered some lashes off Amazon. I think they're called Amica or something. I don't remember it. I was like, ooh, let me just try these. But I think they're easier. The wispy lashes are easier to place for beginners. I know you guys are going to say I make this look easy, but trust me, it's taken years. Over 10 years ago, I mean, I would talk my clients out of not having, oh my God, when I charged $25, I think, or 50 bucks. Oh, ooh, never let a makeup artist blow on your lash before placing them. That's nasty. It's germs. And so I was showing you that's what you don't do. But and I lost what I was trying to tell y'all. But this lash was a little bit heavier. So if you're a beginner, I think the Ardell Wispy Lash is great. So placing them, I like to take a mirror. And when I had nails, this was obviously easier, but now I just have my little nubs. I now have to use tweezers. But I like to look downward into a mirror where I can see my nostrils. And sometimes I even look into a mirror and look up, chin up, where I can see in my nostrils as well. Because I feel like you can see your lash line better doing it that way versus looking straight into a mirror. But you listen, you have to find what works for you, and it's not going to happen overnight. Lashes are definitely a struggle. But beginners, I definitely suggest the Ardell Wispy Lash, like I said. Cute lash. Yeah. I love makeup. I really do. People ask me if I wear makeup all the time, and I don't. If you follow my personal page, you have definitely seen me baseball capping it up about 90% of the time. Okay, maybe not. Maybe like 75-ish, 80. Again, I don't consider myself an educator in makeup. I like what I like. I can show you because that's how I learn. But makeup is truly about you. There's no right or wrong way to do makeup, okay? And that is what makes you beautiful. Enjoy.